Hi, Adam. Is there much institutional knowledge in Patriots personnel that you can share with teammates to help them this week, do you think?
Um, I there's nothing I can tell you about this team, other than I know that they're tough, you know. Um, from the guys that I know that are still there, they're a tough team. But all in all, they're a new team. You know what I mean? So um, if I were to tell them anything, it could be wrong. So um, no information is better than disinformation. So that's how I look at it.
Is that just also how, I mean, Bill Belichick can switch things up very easily, keep opponents on their toes. So anything from the past, kind of, you got to take it with a little bit of, it could change easily.
To be honest, you just got to drown all that stuff out. You just got to trust. We have to trust in us as a team. We have to trust that each other knows what to do. We have to trust that everybody's going to use, great technique, play with good fundamentals and all the extra stuff that goes into it. Because if you try to, guess and, cloud your mind with a bunch of stuff, you could be wrong.
Piggybacking on that, and just to question your theory, you have knowledge of when guys you've lined up against practice multiple times again. So that institutional knowledge doesn't help you perform against them.
I mean, to some degree, I would say it's kind of like when you're dealing with a new team, it's kind of like being a rookie again, and you're trying to see what it feels like, uh, to go up against something new. For me to expect them to be the same old team, or the same old guys, it's unreasonable.
Have you ever seen the Gillette Stadium Road locker room?
No, I don't. I don't know. I can't remember.
I wonder if it's smaller than the home locker room.
Probably.
Usually,
That's usually what happens. So.
I know that McCourty's told us he's gone against former teams before, so this is really not a particularly emotional experience for him. Any sense how it's going to be for you? Will it feel a little odd?
Well, I mean, he's old as hell, and I'm getting there, but I would definitely say it's another day of work.
The thing you took away from Coach Bill, obviously everyone knows him from the outside, like us, as one of the best coaches of all time. The thing you took away from your experience with him that you think will help you in your career was what?
I would say just not beating yourself. I think that's something that I took from him that I take into everything that I do. Um, just minimize mistakes. Basically, don't beat yourself. But I think that applies to every team. It doesn't just apply to that particular organization.
I disagree with you. Yeah. No. Well, a lot of people say that in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Most teams cannot do that. Patriots, that's consistent. They don't beat themselves.
Right.
So, it's harder to do than it is to say.
Well, I mean, I didn't say it wasn't hard to do. I just said I agree with it.
So what makes it, what helped you guys get to that level? Because it's true. Like, I've been covering the league for 14 years. The Patriots, you go to Foxborough, they're not going to beat themselves. You have to beat them. And I don't know if you could say that about any other team.
Well, one of the keys to winning is not beating yourself. And at the end of every season, the best team, not the best individual, the best team is going to be the one who takes home the trophy and the ring. So I think, like what you just said about every team not being able to do that, well, you have to ask yourself, like what kind of chemistry do they have? Because I think, or being a part of that organization, or the teams that I was on, they had great chemistry. I mean, I'm not there now. I'm here trying to help this team establish the same kind of chemistry. But that mindset of not beating yourself is a chemistry thing. So.
our friend Brett over there, he has a stat in the notes that we occasionally read.
I read it every week.
Brett, tell me if I had this right. In the last 1 or 2 years, New England and Miami are 1 and 2 in fewest penalties in the NFL. is it since Flores' arrival? Since Coach Flores' arrival,
Mhm.
Patriots least penalized, Dolphins second least penalized. How is that happening? Why does that happen?
I would say Coach Flo and Coach Belichick. You know, I think it's just their leadership. You know, and when you get behind that kind of leadership, that strong leadership, it establishes chemistry between your teammates. And then once that chemistry is established and everybody gets behind it, that becomes the focus.
But is it a thing where if someone commits a false start in practice, you run it again? Or what is it that they do to, because players are going to make mistakes, they're human.
Mm-hmm.
What is it they do to correct those mistakes to make sure they don't happen on Sunday? Maybe they happen on Wednesday.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for anybody else but myself, but if I was to do that, I'd just shake it off and, you know, move on and just try not to do it again. That's all you can do. You can't go back and change the play, so.
Brennan Scarlett was in here. He incredibly is the only person I've ever met in my life who went to Stanford and Cal. And he said that he looked it up that they're ranked higher than Notre Dame because Doran Smythe was in here.
Mm-hmm.
So where's Vandy in terms of best academic institutions in America?
Well, I'm always gonna rock for mine, so I'm Vandy all day. So I'm gonna put us at number 1.
Have you noticed that there's actually a bunch of smart dudes in that locker room?
Yeah.
I guess that's
Yeah.
probably on purpose, right?
I mean, yeah, probably.
How good do you feel about your room? It's certainly a good group on paper with you and Christian and Emmanuel, Raekwon and Zach, John Jenkins. How good could that collective 6 defensive linemen be?
Well, you know what? I'm proud of all of those guys. I mean, obviously we haven't, played a regular season game together, but I am looking forward to getting out there and showing them what I can do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. I think as a unit, we definitely have a lot of potential, but we've got a lot of work to do.